Hello, everyone. It's Dale. My talk today is on automotive air conditioning, and hopefully just to learn a little bit about what that is. Have you ever seen those cans in the store that come with a little hose on them and a valve on the top, and think, "Oh, cool! I can fix my own AC now." Well, I want you to think twice about that. There's a number of reasons why that's not such a great idea. In automotive air conditioning, there is a high side and a low side to the whole system. And those cans, first of all, don't tell you anything about what's going on the high side of the system. And if you're putting Freon in there and the high side goes too high, you'll destroy the compressor. There's a lot of components in an air conditioning system. The compressor is where we start. That's the device that's run by the belt on the front of your engine, and it compresses the Freon that's in there. With Freon, there is also oil that's in there with the Freon, and the system needs that oil to work. But that oil takes up part of the capacity of the system. And so if there's too much oil, then there's less room for Freon. And that can and does happen, even in repair shops, because they don't necessarily know exactly what's in there. And if sometimes there's reasons to put oil in there, and it's not too hard to get too much in there, and then you've lost capacity for Freon, and especially on smaller cars, that gets to be kind of critical. So the compressor compresses the Freon, and from there it goes into the condenser, and the condenser does what it says. It's that thing that looks like a radiator on the front of your car for the air conditioning. It takes the heat out of the Freon that was put in there by being compressed by the compressor. And when it does that, it also condenses it down into a liquid to make sure that Freon is a liquid, because part of the time it is a liquid and part of the time it's a gas. And that gets into how fast you put this stuff into the system, which is another issue with those little cans. If you put it in too fast, it's just not good for the system at all. You want it to go into the low side as a gas. Anyway, when it leaves the compressor, it goes through the dryer is next. And the dryer is what takes any water vapor out of the Freon in the system, because the Freon and the oil both do not get along with water at all. It'll completely ruin the system. So then it goes and heads towards the evaporator. And at least on my system, and it can vary in different cars, but somewhere in the system, and there is a switch that if it doesn't sense any pressure, it tells the compressor you can't turn on because there's not enough pressure for you to operate. But as it goes through and into the evaporator, and that's inside your passenger compartment somewhere, and that is where the magic happens. The Freon goes through that evaporator, and when it does, it expands back into a gas, and when it does that, it gets very cold. And the air passes through there and makes the air nice and cold, and then you have nice air conditioning going on in your car. But there is a little valve or a fixed orifice that controls how fast that Freon goes through that valve. If it goes through too fast, it'll literally freeze that evaporator, and the air can't get through, and nothing will happen, and you'll think your AC is broken again. If it goes through too slow, it doesn't expand enough, and it doesn't make enough cold air, and again, you think your AC system isn't working. What's going on here? So from there, it goes back into the compressor. So you can't tell a whole lot about what's going on with those little cans, especially if you don't even know why you think you need it in the first place. Is it low on Freon, or is there something else going on with one of the components? Sometimes when compressors wear out, they don't work very good. A better choice would be to get one of these kind of gauges, not terribly expensive, not too hard to learn how to use, but you'll get a lot more information from these, because you can see the low side and the high side, and have a lot better control about what's going on with your system. So I hope I've shared something useful with you today. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today, and I'll see you later. Okay, thanks. Bye.